Hello and welcome to my video about theoretical probability. So here we have a spinner. I'm going to call this spinner math. So we have a spinner here that has 4 different colors divided equally among all 4 of them. So whenever we have equal amounts, basically what you're going to do to figure out the probability is you're going to be looking at fractions first, and then you can always change to a percent afterwards. So for example, what is the probability if I flick this spinner, which makes this arm move very, very quickly? I don't know where it's going to land. It's just going to spin around in a circle, going around this circle, like going around, right? Where's it going to land? Well, what is the chance that it's going to land on blue? Well, there's 1 blue, okay, over how many different options are there? There's 4 options. So we say as a 1 over 4 or 1 in 4 chance of landing on blue. Okay, so because all of them are equal, the way we write this is we say the number of correct choices, or whatever you chose as correct, compared to over the number of total. And this general idea actually is the case pretty much everywhere, unless they're uneven. So if they're uneven chances, then it becomes a little bit different. So right here, we have each of these all have 1/4 chance. And that's very important that they all have 1/4 chance, because you're going to notice if you add up 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. So let's just do this. Plus, 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 plus. If we add all those up, our probability always has to equal 1. Okay? The reason why that is because any one of these, you take it and you times it by 100%, and it tells you that it's 25% chance. And over here, if you times by 100%, it equals the total number, which is, well, the chances that what this is just saying is that if I flick the spinner, it's going to always land on either blue, red, green, or yellow, which makes sense. It's always 100% of the time going to land on one of those 4 colors. So it always has to add up to 1. Let's take a look down here at a slightly more different example, where we have one that has a bigger side and some that have smaller. So you then have to imagine a line dividing it. Okay, so this is what isn't drawn, but is important. Actually, let's use a different color there. Very important line here is this purple line. Okay, it's not drawn. Wow, whoops. My bad. I can fix that. The purple line is not drawn because if usually you won't have it divided up, but if you draw it in your head, or even like I just did, actually down, then what you're going to notice is that it has, what are the chances of it landing on blue? Well, it has the number of correct choices. Well, there are 2 correct choices out of the total number of choices, which is 4. So using the same idea as before, this idea up here, the number of correct choices is 2, the number of total choices is 4. And this only works if they're even. So that's why we had to draw the purple line, to make them even, to split them up a little bit. Okay, well, that's nice, but we can actually simplify this. Simplifying a fraction just means that you're going to divide top and bottom by the same number. So divide by 2, divide by 2. So all it does is simplify it, just makes it a little bit easier for us. 1/2, which if you times by 100%, it equals 50%. So 1/2 or 50%, either way is fine. All right, take that same idea, and maybe I'll copy this and paste it below so that we can see it again down there. Or maybe I'll just move it because it's not copying. Okay, there you go. So we used it up here, the number of correct choices over the total number of choices. But now let's take a look at the dice. So this is a normal 6-sided dice. What are the chances of an even number? So what are the number of correct choices? What are the total number of choices? Well, if you think about a dice, there are 6 possible options. That's 1, 2. These are numbers that you could roll with a single dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's no other number. You can't roll a 0, you can't roll a 7, you can't roll a 24. No other numbers other than those. So which of those are even numbers? Well, 2, 4, 6 are even numbers. So that means that we have a 3 in 6 chance. And again, we can simplify by dividing by 3, which means half of the numbers are even numbers, right? Half of the numbers, which you can also say is 50%. Either of those two answers is perfectly fine. Okay, what are the chances of getting a 6? Well, there's just one 6 in here, so we're going to say that there's only a 1 in 6 chance of getting a 6. Okay, what about a 1 or a 3? Well, let's take a look here. 1 or a 3. Well, let's see, it's just got 2 out of 6, which means if we simplify it, we can do that by dividing by 2. Dividing by 2, it equals 1 out of 3. All right, so you can see here that theoretical probability is very, at the most basic level, is this. The number of, well, let's just get another color in here. The number of correct choices, or whatever choices that you chose as the person, and then divided by or fractionally over the total number of choices. I hope this video helps you understand theoretical probability a little bit better. Good luck!